Today on Ancient Insight, we would like to take a quick moment to talk about the particular pronunciation and spelling that you will find in our videos. Caution: before we begin, if you are not curious about why we speak and spell Hebrew as we do in these videos, you might want to skip this one. On the same note, if this is the first video of ours that you are seeing, again, you might want to put off watching this until later. An answer given to an unasked question is useless. If you speak or are learning to speak Hebrew, you may have noticed that we are not pronouncing or spelling words as they are in modern Hebrew. This is a deliberate decision on our part. The purpose of Ancient Insight videos is to discover, develop, and demonstrate comprehensive video definitions for abstract concepts found in the English translations of the Bible. We are not teaching how to speak modern Hebrew. For that matter, we are not proposing that we are teaching how to speak ancient Hebrew either, although we have heard that the particular style we use has sometimes been called speaking Paleo-Hebrew. We agree with the assessment that nobody now living really knows what the ancient language of Hebrew, Ibrit or Ibarayat, sounded like when it was originally spoken. For the sake of the insight behind the ancient words that we are trying to find and share, it is not crucial that we sound exactly like Abraham, Shem, or Sarah did. It is crucial, however, that we hear and see each letter. When we first began to explore the Hebrew language, we pronounced words as we heard others do, using the traditional Ashkenazi methods. The problem that we started to notice as we progressed with these pronunciations is that it was hard to hear the individual letters which make up each word. As we began to understand what a crucial role each letter plays in the meaning of each word, we longed for a way of pronouncing the words that allowed you to hear each letter clearly, so that discussions could be had about the words and the letters that they were built with, even when you weren't looking at them in writing. In English particularly, and probably in many other modern languages as well, spelling and logic or understanding have very, very little to do with each other. Words are spelled however the latest dictionary or style guide says that they are spelled, and we simply memorize those particular spellings and learn to associate them with the popular pronunciation of the words which they represent. In many cases, not only are the letters irrelevant to the meanings of our words, they don't even directly affect the way they are pronounced. For example, the words listener, letter, circle, and built. Written words have become nothing more than icons for sounds and concepts. We see the shape of the word and associate it, sometimes correctly, sometimes not, with a sound and a meaning. By contrast, every letter in ancient Hebrew words plays a crucial role in the meaning of the word. You cannot change the spelling of a word without changing its meaning. For example, take a look at the first word in the Old Testament, or Tanakh, Bara'ashayat. The bet is a prefix meaning in. The resh al shin combination is a root meaning summit. The yod tav combination is a diminutive suffix meaning smaller, sharper, or more finite. None of these letters can be changed or omitted without altering the meaning of the phrase. Since the letters are so crucial to the meanings of the words and the phrases which they construct, we have decided to utilize a method of pronunciation which consistently emphasizes the sound of each letter. We mention consistency here to say that we have considered several sources and have decided to follow Jeff Benner's phonetic descriptions as stated in the introduction pages to the Ancient Hebrew Lexicon of the Bible. Having established a reasonable estimate at the original sound of each letter, we will utilize that sound each time the letter appears. So the bet, for example, will always be pronounced as ba. We will not alternate between the ba and va, as is common in modern Hebrew. The shin will always sound like sha, and the sin, or samek, will always sound like sa. If you are interested in the rationale behind these decisions, we highly encourage you to read the Reconstructed Alphabet section of Benner's Ancient Hebrew Lexicon of the Bible, which begins on page 20, or check out the articles on his website, ancienthebrew.org. We will also be utilizing the ancient names of the letters as proposed by Benner in the same section. Okay, enough about the reasons and on to the method. Here is the ancient Hebrew alphabet as we are pronouncing it. Al, A, Bet, Ba, Gam, Ga, Dal, Da, He, Ha, Wa, Wa, Zan, Za, Chetz, Cha, Tet, Ta, Yad, Ya, Kaf, Ka, Lam, La, Ma, Ma, Nun, Na, Sin, Sa, Ain, Ai, Pe, Fa, Tsad, Tsa, Kuf, Kwa, Resh, Ra, Shin, Sha, Tav, Ta, and Ga, Ga. When it comes to searching for words in Hebrew lexicons, we have found it very helpful to memorize these phonetic sounds so that you can say them quickly to remind yourself of their order, just as many have done with the ABC song for the English alphabet. We particularly like a version which we first heard from Ronald Basinger that has letters in groupings of 3. It has a nice 3-4 beat to it and is easy to say very quickly once you get it down. Abaga, Dahawa, Zachata, Yakala, Manasa, Raifatsa, Kurasha, Ta, and Ga. Or as he said it, Abaga, Dahawa, Zachata, Yakala, Manasa, Raifatsa, Kurasha, Ta, and Ga. Now, when it comes to forming spoken words from these sounds, it is crucial that we do not allow the letters to smash together, hiding their phonetic identities. So we are allowing for a natural ah to resonate between each letter. The ah sound seems to be the most basic sound produced by human vocal cords, with throat and tongue muscles relaxed. Please note that this ah sound will only be occurring between letters and not at the end of words. If it were used at the end of words, it would make it sound as if the letter he had been added to the end of the word. For an example, let's look at the first word in the Holy Scriptures, commonly pronounced Bereshit. Utilizing the pronunciation we are describing, we would pronounce it Bara'ashayat. The word is essentially slowed down and each letter given a chance to sound off, almost as if you were reading to a small child in your lap, who was following along as you pointed to each letter with your finger while sounding it out. This method, or ones very similar to it, are utilized by many congregations that we have encountered online, and we certainly do not claim to have invented this. What we are trying to do is understand and explain this method and its benefits, as well as laying down some linguistic boundaries for ourselves so that we may accomplish consistency. There is one particular area of awkwardness in this method of pronunciation, and that is the letter al. In order to hear the phoneme or sound of the letter al and not mistake it for the natural ah, which we already have occurring between each letter, we will be pronouncing the al as well as the inserted ah sound belonging to the letter preceding it, as in bara ashayat. The al, then, is inadvertently sounded as ah when it is part of a word. This is a bit awkward, but a small price to pay for an otherwise consistent and logical method. When it comes to spelling, we are following a style which again we first saw utilized by Ronald Basinger. When transliterating a word from the Hebrew scripture, we will represent each Hebrew letter in capital English letters, and we will represent the inserted ah sound between each letter with a lowercase English a. Again, using the example of bara ashayat, we have the capital B representing the bet, the capital R as the resh, capital A as al, capital SH as shin, capital Y as yad, and capital T as tav, each followed by the inserted lowercase a, except for the al, which is already making that sound. We hope that this video has helped you to understand how and why we are spelling and pronouncing the way we are as we explore the ancient insights behind biblical Hebrew words. One more note that you may find helpful. When it comes to personal pronouns used in these videos, you will often hear the narrator, me, referring to myself with the plural pronouns we and us. For example, today on Ancient Insight, we would like to... So who is the we? Each video on the Ancient Insight channel is written and illustrated collectively by my wife and I. So while you only hear one voice speaking on the videos, we are expressing the united thoughts of two people. It would seem dishonest to us and bordering on stealing for me, as the narrator, to make it sound as if these are exclusively my individual thoughts. Shalom, meaning may you be whole, and thanks for watching.